So you want to get into peer-to-peer lending in order to make money and lend money to other people. And so you found the app Lenme and you want to know, should you use this product to lend money? So today on the Finance Edition, I'm going to take you back in time to my 2020 product review of Lenme. About a year ago, I got into peer-to-peer investing because I thought it would be a good investment opportunity. Turns out, I was totally wrong. Let's take a look at what makes peer-to-peer investing so bad. First, I want to go through what peer-to-peer lending is, and then I want to go over what the interest rates are for some of the major peer-to-peer lending companies. First, peer-to-peer lending is a system that allows a peer to loan to another peer. In other words, from one citizen to another citizen. And from that summarization, it sounds like a great idea, but when you dig into it, it turns out, bless you, it turns out that it's really not that good. I want us to take a look at Prosper. So Prosper, at the very top, they'll say that they've done $16 billion in borrowing. Oh, okay. Which sounds like it's really good. But if you scroll down, you'll see that they offer interest rates from 7.95% to 36% APR. So in other words, it ranges from all right, but pretty high in general to above the APR of a credit card. So in some cases, you're really not getting a deal if you're trying to be lended to. And then let's take a look at the lending club. So what they have here is a graph that shows that the combination of all of the people that are lended to end up with an interest rate between 10 and 20%. My estimation, it looks like this is about 14%, and for 60-month loans, it's 14.77%, which I would consider to be fairly high. Now over here you have grades, and when you have grading in lending, that's referring to the amount of risk that the lender is taking lending to that person. So for instance, a grade A person would receive the absolute lowest interest rates versus a B, a C, a D, an E, a F, and a G. So what I want you to notice here is that in general, it increases substantially based off of the amount of risk you have. You can see G, being the riskiest, is sitting very close to 30% throughout the last few years. And then you'll notice throughout 2020, during COVID-19, that these rates went up, and in some cases dramatically were jacked up as far as the lending club is concerned. In a number of states, P2P lending is not allowed whatsoever. The problem in Ohio is all about potential fraud. Under the Ohio Securities Act, Ohio views the borrower as the actual issuers of the notes, not Lending Club or Prosper. Like any other notes issued to Ohio investors, they need to know that the issuer is not making any fraudulent claims. Because both Lending Club and Prosper do not verify all information entered by borrowers, they can't make no such claim. How can they? It would be virtually impossible task to verify the statements of every borrower, not just the financials, but anything stated by a borrower, and certainly one that doesn't scale. This is from lendacademy.com. So here's what blows my mind about peer-to-peer lending. It completely bypasses any of the safety nets that are put in place for a traditional bank. A traditional bank is going to be able to figure out whether somebody is worth lending to and then actually hedge their risk and hedge their bets based off of what that person is capable of repaying. Here comes Lenme. Lenme is another peer-to-peer lender, and they make it super easy. They have an app, and they allow lending and borrowing to be easy. They have a really nice website. They have really nice animations. You can look at this anytime you want. And they show you this handy dandy thing about how your money grows. Isn't that so nice? And oh look, 200,000 users and 2.5 million loans originated and 10,000 loans. You know what I want to see here? How many of these loans have been repaid? I know. Shocker. I'm going to take you behind the scenes on how much money you can make or lose using peer-to-peer lending. Let's take a look at the Lenme application. You'll also notice that it's very glitchy, and I really don't know how to explain the amount of glitches that are in this application. So first up, you'll notice at the top, it shows your balance, which is how much money you have in the account. It shows total invested, which is the amount of money that you've transferred into the application and invested on their platform. And then they have an ROI that has a percentage up there. And I can assure you that that ROI of 43.27% is completely bogus. Do not trust anything that this app has to tell you. For an investor, it gives you options for different users that are looking for loans. So let's look at this one from BW. And you'll see that this person is probably not very good at repaying their loans, because you see they have a 66% payment history. And my estimation of that is that they only pay 66% of their payments, question mark. They really don't explain this very well. It says payment history is the borrower's history of payments to credit grantors. The lower the percentage, the higher the risk due to missed or late payments. The higher percentage, the lower the risk. In other words, this person does not pay their credit cards on time. Yikes. So let's take a look at someone else. Okay, so DP, his payment history is 100%. This is what I used a year ago when I was trying to figure out a good barometer for whether or not somebody would repay a loan. I made the commitment to myself that I would only take on people who had a 100% payment history. And I had a very good reason for that. I want them to pay my loan back. Clearly, I want to make money, but I also don't want to lose the principal of my loan in the first place. The principal being the original amount. So the original amount of a $200 loan would be $200. And if they didn't pay back that $200 principal, I'm out of money. Versus if they pay the principal back and I make some additional money back on top of that, I'd make profit. So here you'll say that he has 100% payment history. However, he has a 94% credit utilization. And when I first saw this, I didn't think anything of it. But upon looking at it later, I realized that 94% at credit utilization is really bad. And here's why. Credit utilization is the ratio of credit card balances to credit limits. It measures the amount of total available credit that the borrower is currently using. In other words, if this is accurate, this person has nearly maxed out their credit cards and they're relying on loans from Lenme to stay afloat. That's terrifying. And I'm mortified that I ever took any part in this industry, because that's a really scary predicament that people who are putting loans on here are just helping people furthering their lifestyle of huge leverage in really expensive APR debt. So you can see here, I just clicked on the previous 2 loans that they've paid back. So at least I know they've managed to pay back 2 of their previous loans. But there's no guarantee that that'll continue forever. I want to show you what it looks like to offer a loan. So at the bottom of any of these, you have the ability to change the loan percentage APR and see how much profit you can expect to make. And they set the absolute lowest amount at 3%, which will end up being 3% plus 1% because of the origination fee that they apply. And then it slides up. Oh, and it doesn't stop at 36%. Oh no, it just keeps going. And the annual interest rate it peaks out at 200%. Now, that looks pretty small on this. We're talking about a $100 loan, which is $103.11 because they put the 1% origination fee on at the very beginning. And so the expected earnings is $17. But it's only that low because it's a payback period of 1 month. So this gets really scary if, say, they're borrowing a significant amount of money. This is probably going to be the worst one you'd ever see. But $808.11 over 12 months. And this slides upwards percentage-wise. And you can see it gets pretty radical pretty fast. So at 200%, this person would be paying more than double their original amount of loan. So assuming they paid the whole thing back, the person who lended it out would be making bank, right? Maybe not. So what scared me about this app is that they're able to apply an extremely high percentage APR. And you think, well, wouldn't people just decline that percentage? Clearly, plenty of people want to give money, or rather loan money. But that's not the case. So they have this feed button at the bottom, and you can scroll through different loans that have been confirmed by lendees and lenders. And I'm just going to scroll through this for you. So I'm just going to read some of these interest rates. There's 90%, 105, 200, 87, 200, 144, 59, 99, 30, 150, 98, 27. And it just goes on and on and on. But what you'll find is that most of these seem to be between 100 and 200. There were a bunch of 200s right there. So 8 months ago, I started looking into peer-to-peer investing very seriously, and I came across this app, and you'll see here that I currently have no pending loans because I'm not giving any out to anyone anymore. I have pulled out as much money as I could from this platform, and I will never use this platform ever again, or any platform for peer-to-peer lending until they get much better at it, at least. And then I have 12 that say that are current and 17 that are complete. And now I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty math of how that worked out. I'm mortified that I even used this platform. I'm so mortified that I can't even bear to share with you guys what the APR is that I put in on these loans and that people accepted. So this is outstanding. Only 17 of the loans completely paid back everything that they owed. A number of them didn't actually pay up more than the principal. Just based off of looking at this, it's concerning. So amount paid, you can tell that this is where you would compare the amount, the number of months, and the amount paid. Like, I'm mortified that I charged several $100s to CP, TM, NG for the ability to have them be bailed out of their own debts and then pay for it with a really high amount of interest. So that's just extremely concerning. And down here, you'll see that I have a few that didn't pay me anything whatsoever. Now I have the listed amount of profit per loan and loss. And you'll see here, yeah, there's a number of positives, but there's also some really big negatives. The total invested was $6,000, 6,000, almost 6,400, and the total outstanding was $3,041, and my net positive negative was $106.46. That's right, all this for $100, which gives me a total invested profit of 1.6%. That's right. I invested money for 8 months with numerous types of profit and loss just to make $100. Let me just say, there are so many better ways to make money than using this platform or any platform like it. My default rate is huge. My default rate was 41%. That is huge. And I just want to show you guys real quick. Prosper claims to have a default rate of 3 to 4%. My suspicion is that it's actually much higher because my experience on Lenme says that I had a default rate of 41%. Maybe this is just because Lenme doesn't have very good people that are looking to pull money from it. Like I said, I really think that that Lenme is putting the lenders and lendees in a terrible position. And I really don't believe that the people who are lending have nefarious purposes, and I don't really think that people who want loans on here are deadbeats. I really don't. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people didn't pay anything. The rest look like they intended to pay it back, but then either couldn't or did. And so what I would say is 41% is much too high to be considered a legitimate lending service, and I wouldn't recommend anyone would do it. So in the future, I am planning to do a few investment videos on what are good things to invest in, but seriously, if you're looking for a major investment, something to put your money in, this isn't it. You would be far better off finding mutual funds, index funds, literally anything other than peer-to-peer investing. I'm amazed that I didn't lose significant amounts of money to not make up for the amount of diversification that I had. I had diversification in that I lended to 29 different people. And even with all of that diversification, I only came out with an extra $100. And $6,000 were invested and I got $100 out. That is 1.6% profit, and over an 8 month period of time, that's nothing. So what I would say is peer-to-peer investing is a hard pass. So thanks for listening to this video, and if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out another video. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike and tell me why. In the comments, I would really appreciate if you told me what your experience was using Lenme and what you think about it. Thank you so much and have a great night.